This episode of the Slipcast is brought to you by the Mad Canadian Barbecue Company. Mad Canadian Barbecue Company is an Ohio-based company where they say our seasoning will take your barbecue from good to great. Be sure to hit up the Mad Canadian this Thursday at the OLC Shrine Cafeteria in Cary, Ohio, 4 to 7 o'clock for some barbecue and bingo. Again, this Thursday, 4 to 7, OLC Shrine Cafeteria, some barbecue and bingo. Be sure to head up his social media, Twitter, and Facebook for more information about him and his food truck and where he'll be heading to next. Mad Canadian Barbecue Company, who are the official barbecue of the Cary High School Blue Devils.
This episode of the Sloopcast also brought to you by the Iron Bean Coffee Company. The Iron Bean Coffee Company is a Ohio-based, Marine veteran-owned coffee company. All of your coffee beans are fresh roast to order, making sure you're getting the freshest possible roast you possibly can. And if you choose to have the beans ground as well, that also means you're getting the freshest possible grind that you can. All of their beans are fair trade certified and USD organic, ensuring you're getting the beans of not just the highest taste quality, but also the highest moral quality. Christmas season's coming up. They have gift cards available. They have a monthly subscribe service available. All of this and more. Free shipping over $50. Not free dollars. That's not possible. Free shipping over $50. You can find your new favorite coffee over at ironbeancoffee.com. That is Iron Bean Coffee, America's local coffee roaster.
How's YouTube and the Slipcats doing today? Hope all is well.
Kyle's in the horseshoe right now.
I am in the horseshoe, and no one can't prove that I'm not.
Apparently, Gangland had the got a bag of unicorn. Any guesses of what it was? Don't you dare microwave nachos in my presence. No clue, he says. But you enjoyed it? You have to say yes here. They're a sponsor.
Always.
Always.
All
That's
right.
a good answer.
All right.
Good answer.
It is Know Your Enemy episode, Jared. So let's hop right into it.
Yep. We've got barbecue back here. You're all invited. Welcome to the Slipcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing all right over here. How are you doing today, Jared?
I'm very nasally. There's a lot of nasally things happening. I'm not responding well to the artificial heat and the dry weather and the just winter, and then my mic fell. See this? Then my mic fell. Kyle, why don't you give us a brief introduction at what we're gonna do today? Maybe even tell us what we're about to do while I fix my microphone stand real quick. We're a professional operation here, you guys. Patreon.thesloopcast.com. Help me buy a new mic stand.
Well, today is the Know Your Enemy, so we're going to get to know the Michigan State Spartans. Coming into this game, 9-1, 6-1 in the Big Ten play. Leading the team here is Heisman hopeful Kenneth Walker III, who's arguably one of the best running backs in the nation here, rushing for almost 1,500 yards in 10 games so far.
Yeah, an absolute Heisman hopeful. We have 2 Heisman hopefuls in this game, potentially even 3 if you count Henderson. But realistically, we're probably looking at CJ Stroud, which, no offense to CJ Stroud, this is all just kind of, oh, you're the quarterback for one of the best teams in the country, therefore here.
Doesn't quite work for Oklahoma.
Well, it normally does.
Not this year.
Well, Williams got like one game in his belt, and people were writing articles about how he was a Heisman hopeful. Anyway, that's not on topic for what we're doing here today.
Yep. The Spartans, Jared. Spartans were a lot of people thinking that Spartans would be dead last this year in the Big Ten East division, and here they are, second place in the Big Ten with 6-1, right behind Ohio State in a victory here. And well, their next two victories here puts them into the Big Ten championship. Really, it's these three teams: Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State. They win. Whoever wins these last two games are in.
Yeah, I think you have three teams in the Big Ten right now who I think you could realistically say are winning in, and I think Sparty's one of them. I think Sparty can make the playoffs if they win out.
Honestly, any of these three.
Yeah.
Any of these three. And I know we all want to make fun and say bad things about Michigan, but
yeah,
they win the rest of their games. They're in the playoffs too. This is it for these three teams. And what better way than to do it the last 2 weeks of the regular season here, unlike playing Mercer in one of these weeks here.
Yes, the dreaded pre-Thanksgiving Mercer game, which give Alabama some credit. They at least played New Mexico State, which is at least an FBS program, and it was 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So,
all right.
good
All
job,
right. So
guys.
this Spartan team here, they're very surprised on how well they're doing offensively. They're averaging almost 450 yards for the game.
Yep.
250 in the air, almost 200 on the ground here. Man, this is a complete different Spartan team than we saw last year here. And I mean, credit to the coaching staff here. They found their quarterback who's thrown for 21 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, and mentioned Kenneth Walker, the heart and soul of this offense here. And we saw what he did against their little brother a few weeks ago here. It's a real surprise seeing how well this Spartan team has done this year, and you got to give them credit. And it should be a really fun game to watch here this weekend.
Yeah, and let's include Jaden Reed in that conversation as well. They have a nice three-headed monster on the offensive side of the ball. However, where Sparty is probably falling a bit short is their passing defense.
Yes.
I believe they are one of the worst in all of the Power 5, maybe even all of the FBS. I forget the exact stat that I read somewhere, but they're one of the worst pass defense in the entire country is the important takeaway here. And when you're going up against Ohio State and their wide receivers, that it's not a great position to be in if you're one of the worst passing teams or passing defensive teams in the country. CJ Stroud, according to Vegas, is now the Heisman favorite. What? When did that happen? I was real comfortable with him being like second or third. Now he's the Heisman favorite, and like the nonsense radar in the back of my head, the absolute like superstitious, this doesn't actually mean anything alert was going off in the back of my head. So I'm not a big fan of that. But this could be a game in which he pads those stats a bit against a quality opponent, not padding the stats against Mercer. I hated to go back to the Mercer well, but that's just where we are. We're in Mercer season.
I did double check for you, Jared, and Michigan State is indeed dead last in passing defense.
See you, Stuart. Sorry about your internet.
Yep.
Yeah, dead last in all of, is that FBS Power 5?
This looks like all FBS because I see Mac schools in here too.
There you go. They're allowing 330 yards a game through the air, which is that's not ideal. Again,
no, it's
especially when you're going up against who is probably the best passing offense in the country. I mean, the best offense period in the country. But again, the wide receivers at Ohio State are ridiculous. And I got a great stat this week from Ramsey over at 11 Warriors, where I think he said that Michigan State hasn't scored more than 17 points against Ohio State, I think, since the year 2000.
2005.
There you go. Now, so the question is, can Sparty break that curse? And this would appear to be the year to do it. This is probably
Yeah.
the best offense they've had in a very long time, as D'Antonio didn't feel like hiring good offensive assistants. That's just not a thing he did. He only hired the worst offensive assistants. So this is maybe the best Sparty offense we've seen in a while. That being said, they're missing D'Antonio on the defensive side of the ball because if Sparty wants to win this game, they will. I feel very comfortable saying this, Kyle. They will need to score more than 17 points. I don't
Yes.
care if Michigan State plays on their head. They're not holding
Mhm.
Ohio State under 17 points this game. That is just not a realistic goal.
Yep. No, absolutely here. So let's look at some of the other players here on the team here. You mentioned Jane Reed, Jalen Naylor, also on the wide receiver team, very talented receiver. Can't forget about Connor Hayward. Feels like Connor's been there for forever at Michigan State. Definitely in tight ends has always been a not necessarily sometimes Achilles heel for Ohio State. So
Yeah.
got definitely keep an eye out for Connor Hayward as well for this Spartan offense.
Now, despite having a pretty, I'll say it, Kyle. I'm going to say it. Piss poor pass defense. They do. It's the pass defense is larger than one player, obviously, and they do have a really good safety in Xavier Henderson. Very good player. Kyle leads the team in tackles. Is that correct?
Yeah, Spartans defense that doesn't bode well when you
That's
say
true.
their safety.
That's probably that's a good point.
Is your leading tackle for the team, but Cal Halliday and Quavers Crouch, both really good linebackers that Ohio State will really need to keep an eye out for because they love just getting in there and making plays too.
Nomad points out that Hickman is our leading tackler. Yeah, but he's also a linebacker, right?
He's also a linebacker.
He's that position.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to Michigan State, Kyle, and I know we're gonna talk about this a bit more in our preview section, but it's real hard. It's real hard not to just point out the obvious here, which is Ohio State's glaring advantage. The thing they're the best at is going up against the thing that Michigan State is the worst at. Like, it's really hard to not just exclusively talk about Ohio State's pass offense versus Michigan State's pass defense.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's as bad as advertised, and this deep into the season, like, these are not statistical anomalies, right? We have plenty of data points. We have plenty of ability to average these things out. These numbers are nice and averaged out at this point. You are who you are now, right? This deep into the season, you are who you are. And who do we think Sparty is? I think they're a team that can't defend the pass. And when you're going up against Ohio State, who has the best wide receiving core in the country, who has a Heisman candidate leading Heisman candidate quarterback, some order of those words works. When you have that, plus those receivers going up against what is statistically the worst passing defense in the entire country, gosh, it's really hard not to just focus on that. Nomad says, so we run the ball 35 times? I mean, maybe. I mean, realistically speaking, I think it's entirely possible Ohio State completely blows out Sparty here. And Kyle, the number, at least according to our CBS site, I think got all the way down to 20. I think is where CBS locked it in for our sloot picks.
Yep, it's at 19 and a half.
19 and a half. Now, you told me on when we recorded the Monday episode on Sunday, that Ohio State open At closer to 30?
It was like 27. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that number
now
came down a lot.
now it's down to Nebraska standard, like at 19 and a half. And even last weekend too, I think was 19 and a half. So it seems like that's about the perfect number for like 3 weeks in a row now for Vegas.
Well, but that's not the number Vegas wanted, though. It seems like the people drug it down. Because that, when you see the number change that much, it's because all of the action is going to one side, right?
Yep. Yep.
Nomad asks, when do we get the availability report? Typically like 3 hours before kickoff.
Yes.
It's a few hours before kickoff. So
Yep.
not by the time we're done recording.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a question here. Austin's over unders, since we're talking about stats and numbers real quick.
Okay,
here, Jared.
that's way outside of our normal time to do it. But hey, Kyle's on the road. If you're noticing, Kyle's mic quality is a little bit lesser than normal. He's on the road. He's recording from the Horseshoe, and they don't have the best acoustics there. So,
I'll save a little bit of that and at the end of the episode. So Austin's over unders for the week. Kenneth Walker rushing yards, Jared, over under 119 and a half. I gotta go over here. They're gonna have to rely on Walker. If he gets a $170 in this game, that does not bode well for Ohio State. But I think he'll get closer to about like 130, 140 in this game. But yeah, Buckeye Esquire. But it will take him 30 carries to get there.
But here's the thing: I don't know if there's 30 carries available to him. Again, I keep going back to this, but how do you not point at the elephant who is standing in the room? Ohio State could very easily get out to a big lead quickly. Mm-hmm. The game plan to hand the ball off to Kenneth Walker might not be viable for very long. And Austin does specifically say rushing yards. So if we're talking about swing passes, screen passes, those things don't count towards the total. I might be a little more hesitant had Austin said like yards from scrimmage, but those are rushing yards, so I'm going under.
Okay. Well, that goes into the next question here. You're talking about Ohio State getting out to a big lead. CJ Stroud passing yards at 351 and a half.
Honest to God.
I'm going to go over. I'm going to go way over. I think Ohio State's going to find the rhythm passing the ball, and CJ's going to get near 400 yards in this game.
Gangland in our live chat says he could throw that in the first half. By the way, maybe. He might have to achieve it. He might. I honest to God, guys. I don't think this game is close. I don't see Sparty being able to slow down this passing game. I see Ohio State scoring at will. This will be one of those things where everyone's chuckling to themselves because, oh, look, here comes the punter onto the field for the first time halfway through the third quarter. Honestly, I think this game could be over quickly. The only way CJ Stroud doesn't throw for 350 is if the game situation doesn't allow him to. Yeah. I'm going to say over, but he might just not have the opportunity to throw for that many yards because the offense might just get reined in before that happens.
Yeah.
I'm still going to say over, though.
Wilson and JSN catches at 18 and a half. So both Wilson and JSN catching for more than 18 catches.
A combined more than 18 catches.
Which is what they did last weekend.
Feels like a lot. It's a good number. I know Austin likes when I say that, but it's true.
I'll go under. I'll go under, just under though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Kyle. I'm gonna go under. But man, that's a good number.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Chop carries, 10 and a half.
Ooh.
I want to see more. I want to see more than that. My heart says over. My heart says over.
All right, my brain says under. But but again, this is a really good number. I think it's probably like 8, 9, 10.
Yep. All right. Michigan State total yards in this game, 421. As much as I want that to go under, I think it's going to go over. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot because they have to. So I'm going to go over.
So looking at that number, 421.5. Sparty is averaging 449, and Ohio State is letting up 368 on averages. I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
I think
State,
Sparty's going to be forced to throw away their game plan very early, and I don't think that's good for them.
Ohio State field goals made at 1.5. My projection has them under that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is a huge tell for how this game goes, because I keep talking all this crap, right? Like Ohio State might end this soon. Ohio State might pass at will. Ohio State might do this. Where's the exception to that coming? It's not that Ohio State has a bunch of 3 and outs. It's not that Ohio State punts a lot. I really honestly don't think that's on the table. What I do think is possibly on the table is maybe the red zone issues coming back and a lot of those 7s getting turned into 3s. I'm going to have to fearfully say over.
Okay. All right. Well, Stuart, you can slap Jared that time there. So, all right. And the last one here from Austin: total interceptions for both teams at 1.5.
I was about to say thrown or caused, but then I realized since we're adding the teams together that it's the same number. That feels very low. Although neither of these teams really throws many interceptions. So Austin once again knows what he's doing.
I'll go under.
I'm gonna go under as well. That feels super tempting to say that because it's only 2.
Yeah.
Combined for both teams.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jared, how are you doing on time here? Is it time for us to do a quick ad break?
Yeah. We're overdue for an ad.
All right. Why don't you hit us off, Jared, with some medkit, with some woohoo. That's me. Why don't you hit us up with some Iron Bean Coffee Company?
All right. We were talking a bit. Was that during the mysterious YouTube break, Kyle? I believe is when we were talking about that. About one of our listeners here opening up a bag of unicorn. And I asked him, hey, what flavor do you think it was? And he's like, I have no idea, but it was good. Well, that's what happens when you buy the unicorn. You have no idea what it's going to be. It's a flavored coffee most of the time. But you don't know what it's going to be. You just don't know. That's the fun of it, right? It's their R&D bag. It's the research and development bag. It's their mystery bag. It's like the Starburst used to have that white wrapper Starburst where it's like, you don't know what the flavor is. That's what we're doing here with the unicorn. All I'm really going to promise to you is that it's good. Airhead also did it, Gangland. They both did it. I don't know who did it first, but both Airhead and yes. The answer to your question is yes. Some other flavored coffees, if you're not feeling super adventurous, there's a salted caramel mocha, a vanilla hazelnut, a bananas Foster, a Buckeye peanut butter cup, a butter pecan, the seasonal. So if you want this one, get on it quick. The seasonal white chocolate peppermint. There's an Irish grog, an intense blueberry, and a mom's carrot cake. Mom's carrot cake is currently sold out. Is what I'm saying. You guys got to buy these things. Supply chains and all that, right? And mint chocolate chip. Those are some of those. Those are some of the flavored coffees under the Iron Bean brand. There's even more in what they call their back room, but you're gonna have to figure that one out for yourself because I'm out of time for this ad read. So you can find all of the flavored coffees, including the murder ones in the back room. That's right, the murder, or some of the non-flavored coffees over at ironbeancoffee.com. Once again, that is ironbeancoffee.com.
This episode is also brought to you by our good friends over at the Mad Canadian Barbecue Company. As mentioned at the top of the show,
there's still
Mad
some
Canadian
Raging Tiger left, yes.
We'll be at the OLC Shrine Cafeteria again this Thursday, 4 to 7, Carrie for some barbecue and bingo. Let me read you some of the reviews that was left after having some of that delicious barbecue. Got one here saying that they ordered some ribs, street corn from the Mad Canadian. Needless to say, I was not disappointed. Highly recommend if you're looking to fulfill all of your meat desires. Great job, Mad Canadian Barbecue Company. Here's another one saying that they catered to their daughter's graduation party. Not only was the service excellent, the food was amazing, and I bet you too, Jared, the beard was equally as amazing.
The beard's
Everyone
better.
who
The
who
beard's
who
better.
everyone was asking who made the food because it was so good. So be sure to hit up the Mad Canadian on Facebook and Twitter. Find out more information about him and his food truck and where he'll be heading to next. Mad Canadian Barbecue Company, who are the official barbecue of the Cary High School Blue Devils.
I'm not reading that one, Buckeye Esquire.
All right.
You're
All
wrong
right,
for
we're gonna
that
move
one.
on. We're gonna move on to our predictions here, Jared. So
Yes.
before we start here, Jared, who do we have guest picking with us this week?
Guest picking where we have our homie Sun card. That's right. We got our homie Sun card. He will be letting us know his prediction for the Buckeyes game when we get down there. So yeah, and we'll also get to him on the rest of the games on tomorrow's episode when we do the sloop picks.
All right,
So
cool.
Kyle,
So
which prediction are we doing first here?
let's do the Ohio State player to watch. You want to start, or do you want me to start, Jared?
Ohio State player to watch, Kyle. I'm gonna let you go in case you want to take the easy, also correct answer.
The easy, correct answer is probably C.J.
It
Stroud.
is C.J. Stroud, yes.
But you know what? I'm actually going to go with Hickman in this game. I'm going to go with Hickman because of my next pick here for the enemy player to watch. So I'm going to go with Hickman for Ohio State player to watch.
Okay. I mean, okay. If you're gonna leave C.J. Stroud on the table, I'm gonna take him then. This
All right.
game will all. Again, this is one of the better Spartans offenses Ohio State's played against in a while. They're going to get their points. This is not a game in which Ohio State. That Ramsey number of Michigan State not scoring more than 17 points in the horseshoe since 2005. I think that probably ends this week. I think this is one of the better Spartans offense. I think they score their points. But I think to me, the important thing here is that Ohio State just will outscore Sparty.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah. So what does Sundgaard have for his Ohio State player to watch?
He didn't give us one. We don't ask the guests to do that, Kyle.
Oh, okay.
We've not asked the guests to do that all year.
All right.
Where are you?
I'm tired. I'm tired. Worked my butt off this week, so I'm just going to move on. Enemy player to watch, Jared. I'll start off with the correct answer here is Walker. The correct answer for Michigan State's player to watch is Walker, and that's why I picked Hickman for Ohio State's, because he's the one that's going to be there to make sure he doesn't break those long tackles there too. So I got Walker as the enemy player to watch.
Yeah, and I'm going to go Xavier Henderson, the safety for Michigan State. Again, I feel like the key here. I've already said it like 5 times. I'll say it one more time. The key here, the elephant in the room here, is Ohio State's ability to pass. And like I pick on Henderson only because he's, I would say the leader of that secondary, and that's not to say it's all on him because he's one person, but it's that to me is just where our eyes should be. Ohio State. Can Ohio State score consistently? Can they get touchdowns consistently? Because I think that's what we're looking at here. Can they even be slowed down? Can Ohio State's offense even be slowed down? Because to me, if Michigan State wants to win this, they're going to have to turn some Ohio State touchdowns into Ohio State field goals. I think it's probably the best they can hope for.
Yep. All right. Key matchup here. I'm going to combine my first two together, and that's Ohio State linebackers versus Walker. That's my key matchup. You stop Walker here, you make him one-dimensional, you're going to win this game then.
Do I have to say what my key matchup is? Have I already made that clear? Do I even need to say it?
You do, Jared.
All right, Ohio State's wide receivers versus the Michigan State secondary.
All right. All right. Now the spread pick we mentioned earlier. Ohio State is a 19.5 point favorite as we started recording here. 19.5. I'll lead it off here, Jared. 19.5 just seems too much for me. I think Michigan State's gonna. I think they're going to get their points here. I really think they're going to get their points. So I actually have, not 3-2, Nomad. I actually have my score here. I still have Ohio State winning, but I have the final score of Ohio State 45, Sparty 28.
I'm slightly more optimistic than you. I
Yep.
have the score as 48-21. I do think that Michigan State probably turns 2 of those touchdowns in the field goals, which is why it's 48 and not 49. And no other reason. There's no other reason. And you can't prove me otherwise, chat.
Nice.
You can't prove me any other reason why it's 48 and not 49. So yeah, I have 48-21. Spartans get theirs. I think they probably get 2 of those touchdowns in the first half. Probably enough to make Ohio State sweat it a little bit so that you're not feeling amazing going into halftime, but you're still feeling good going into half. Like, I don't think it's going to be over at halftime.
Yeah.
But then they probably get a junk one like real late towards the end, I would say.
Yeah. All right. Now let's hear from Suncard, Jared.
Yes, let's hear from Suncard. Who does he have here? This game will be won by the Bucks going over the top and moving the safeties back past the run. Trey seals it late. I'm going to go ahead and assume he is picking Ohio State to win and cover.
All right. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and answer the remaining Ask Sloopcast questions we have here, there. And I think there were some more as we're recording here, so I'll try to fit these in as well. So Duncan asks, Teton asked to wear all maize at Not Our Rivals and got told no. Is there a chance we could see Scarlet versus Blue as a standard?
Kyle and I have been pro color on
Love
color
it.
for the Ohio State Michigan game forever. This is a long held belief, Nomad. Sorry if that rubs you the wrong way, but no, I'm all for it. We're better than USC versus UCLA, and I mean that's a given, right? It's a given that we're better than that. But just because someone's better at just because someone is, how do I want to say this? Just because you're better than someone doesn't mean that you have all of the right answers and all of their answers are wrong.
Yep.
You can learn anything. You can learn something from anybody. You can learn something from anybody. So even if someone even if you look at someone and you think that you're superior to them in any and every way, there is something that person knows better than you and that they can teach you. This is some Marcus Aurelius shit. So, point here is that just because Ohio State and Michigan are better than UCLA and USC doesn't mean that UCLA and USC aren't doing this one thing right. And they are doing this one thing right.
Yeah.
Go color on color.
Yeah, I'm all for it too. All for it. All right. Austin asks us, if CJ Stroud torches Michigan and Michigan State, does that clinch the Heisman?
Torches? Yeah, maybe. I mean,
maybe if he gets near 400 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns in each game and 0 interceptions, it's hard to look at those numbers and say no, but
the question isn't whether or not you care, Jared, just to clarify, because we don't as a collective. That's correct. We do not care about the Heisman here.
Yeah.
It's a stupid made up. It was once an important award, but it has been turned into stupidness because of the people who vote for it.
Yep. Nomad asks the same question: does Stroud cement his Heisman front runner status against Sparty? I hope so. I mean, I think he can get near 400 yards in this game with with statistically the worst secondary in all of FBS.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to pad your numbers against a top 10 team.
Yep.
Just give it to Caleb Williams already. Is he even starting for them at this point?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that program. Nomad also, Jared, this is actually a good question because both does McCord and Pryor get redshirted? This was something that was brought up here. Pryor has played 4 games. I think McCord's played in 4 games too. I think
yeah, I believe so.
So they theoretically cannot play any more games unless they're going to not get redshirted then. So I don't know. I don't really see them getting the field unless they put them on special teams or Pryor on special teams. I don't know. It's really interesting on how the coaching staff's going to handle this.
I think Pryor's done for the year. I think, especially if Master Teague can come back and is healthy and available, I think you can get by with just those 3. Quarterback is different. It's absolutely different.
Yep.
Because it just is like, right? Because technically Kyle McCord is your second string quarterback. Now, hopefully Stroud remains healthy, but what if he doesn't? Like, honestly, like, what if it's even just like one play? What if it's just one play? Well, they blew the whistle for Stroud, right? Therefore, because they called a timeout for his injury, he has to come off the field. He has to. Especially if you don't have any timeouts left, because I'm aware you can call a timeout, but you have to. You have to send him out.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's very true. Or we
could put in JP or Ewers, 2 people who have yet to take a snap for Ohio State. Go ahead and put them in mid-game.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
Nomad also asks, does Steele start and get the majority of linebacker plays?
I think so. I think he's been getting more and more and more and more snaps. Nomad says Nomad asks too many questions.
Yeah.
I think it's totally possible. We saw him an absolute ton last week. Now, it made sense last week because Purdue is such a pass first team that you would see Steele Chambers in getting more linebacker reps because he's probably the best cover linebacker on the team. Yep. Now, this week against a run-heavier Spartan team, especially early in the game. Now, if it gets late in the game and Sparty's forced to throw the ball, if something like that happens, then the equation changes. But early in the game, maybe this might be more of a bigger run-stopping linebacker type game. So I think it'll be very interesting to see who gets a lot of those first half reps at linebacker this week.
No, absolutely, Jared. All right. I think that's all the main questions here we have today, Jared. You got anything else?
No, I think we're good here. I think Kyle and I both did what we had to do today as far as trying to figure out a record time and everything. Kyle with his real life job, me with my sinus issues. But you know what, Kyle? We love our fans. So we persevered and we figured it out and we're releasing on time. You have no idea how seriously we take sticking to our schedule. Kyle, you're getting roasted for being an adult in the chat right now. And by roasted, I mean one person said it and then Kyle's gone. Kyle, how did you get everyone else with the shoe in the shoe with you tonight? And also it's dark outside. I just now realized, and it's very, I'm in Columbus right now and it is not daylight. I'm starting to think you aren't actually in the shoe.
Well, you are all invited after all.
That's not your backyard. Kyle, you shouldn't be lying to our people like this. That's all I'm saying. All right. Kyle, that's it for today's show. I want to encourage everyone to visit discord.thesloopcast.com where you can join our Discord server. Come hang out with us, chat with us during the games or any other time for that matter. Come complain about things because that's what we do. And help me buy a new mic stand. It didn't fall again. It only fell once.
These hooligans.
It only fell once. Austin, why are you so mean to me lately? Why are you so mean? Hurting my
Hey,
feelings.
we got a black stripe, Jared.
I didn't do that thing yet.
Well, do the thing then. Do your thing then.
Fine. Kyle's done here. Kyle's done. Kyle, do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
Black stripe, Ben Chrisman, the offensive tackle from Richfield, Ohio, got his black stripe removed. We're still getting some black stripes even going into November here. Austin says he's going to be a stud, by the way. Yeah, 6'6", 299 kid. Yeah, could have a good future here in Ohio State.
Absolutely.
That's small. Yeah. All right. No, that's it. That's all I got here. Looking forward to this weekend's game.
Cool. Yeah, tonight's ending music will be going with Playing to Vapors tonight. So that's tonight's show. Be sure to stick around. Not stick around. No, not emo. They're an alt. Okay, Austin's excited. I think I got Austin back on my side. They are fantastic. No, they're like a mathy but not too mathy alt rock band, I guess is the easiest way to describe them. See, Austin, now you're back on my good side, and I'm back on your good side. We're all good now. The one thing he's good for. All right. You see, you didn't need to take it there. All right, tonight's Playing to Vapors. Yeah, oh yeah, he's a brown noser, right? He's literally just been nothing but mean to me for the past 2 weeks. All right, that's it. We're ending today's show. Tonight's Playing to Vapors tonight on the show. Be sure to come back on Friday when we will be doing our 6 other picks against the line in our weekly Sloop Picks episode. So with all of that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Playing to Vapors.